Ooh.
Play my theme music.
It is the best theme music around.
Welcome to the show, guys. We got a good one today. I'm locked and loaded, Peyton.
Wow, okay. Same here. Good to know. Good to know.
Hey, we coming in 5 seconds. Here we go. All right. Cut it. Okay. All right. Peyton, what's up, my man?
What's up, man? All I know is the host is back, so I feel a little relieved right now.
Man, we are back live in action, man. Welcome to the last call with the Sportaholics. I am the host, like he just said, Russ. That's my boy over there in the other box. That's Peyton. He's the expert. Peyton, I can't lie to you, bro. If I sound a little crazy, it's because I had a crazy weekend. So don't mind me. I didn't get my tea today, so yeah.
Okay. But did you get your coffee?
I did get my coffee.
Good.
I had 2 rounds of coffee.
That's an essential, at least for me.
Yeah. So that it helped a little bit. I'm sounding a lot better than I did yesterday. So I'm thankful for that for sure.
I'm glad you had a crazy weekend, though. Every now and then you got to have a crazy weekend.
I missed you, bro.
Yeah, it's been a while, bro.
Listen, so first of all, no, I missed you this weekend, Peyton.
Oh, I mean, shoot. When was the last time we saw each other in person? Think about it.
Oh, yeah, it's been well over a week.
Yeah.
So with that being said, man, for those that don't know, I am a graduate of the great Bethune-Cookman University, and we had our homecoming this past weekend, and boy, was it a time. It was a time. And I invited Peyton to come out with me, but he left me hanging, and he missed all the action. So, unfortunate for him, fortunate for me. I didn't have to babysit him. So,
yeah, that is a plus for you.
Now I know you can handle your own, man. But let's go ahead and jump into the show, man. Were you able to catch some of the action this weekend?
Yeah, some of it. Not quite as much as I wanted to, but still most of it. How about you?
I didn't catch as much as I would have liked to, but I did. I followed up through social media, watching some highlights on YouTube and everything like that. So I was able to feel like I watched it in real time. What I did see was last night that boy Paulo Banchero going smack off.
All right, that was different, and I saw it up close and personal, as Russ knows.
Yeah, man. Go ahead. Tell us about the experience. How was it in the Kia Center?
Aside from the 50 burger that Paulo put up, no lie, man, I haven't heard the Kia Center, formerly known as the Amway Center, like that for an early regular season game in a long time. I mean, I don't want to go as far as to say it was a playoff setting, but man, like for a game 4 of the season, it was pretty loud in there. I'll say that.
Listen, I mean, you can go ahead and claim it as a playoff setting because those are the type of teams that the Magic will have to beat in order to advance to the next round in the playoffs. They went to the first round last year, lost in a heartbreaker, but those are the type of teams that you're gonna have to step up against in the Indiana Pacers. So my boy Paulo looked hungry, and they had to lead for most of the game. They lost it a little bit in the third quarter, but they were able to make that up and come out with the victory. So big ups to them for sure.
Yeah, and you just touched on the fact that they lost the lead a little bit in the third quarter. I think that was a great experience for the Magic because Paulo hasn't had it going like that, especially this season yet. So I think for the team, they got to see what it was like when another team came out of the half saying, all right, we're just not going to let this guy who just dropped 37 in one half beat us. And I think that's why the Magic struggled to some degree in the second half. Paolo and Suggs not on the same page to start it off, but nonetheless, they got the job done in the end, and they just found a way, and they really played good defense in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, man. And that's your guy right there, Jalen Suggs, man. The new $130 million man?
150.
Oh, 150. Oh my
Even
God.
more.
He's gonna have to, when Paolo isn't able to get the shots that he wants, he's gonna have to step up, man. And I think the team's gonna be looking for him to fill that role and do a little bit more this year. So I think he dropped a little bit over 20, if I'm not mistaken. So that's exactly what they needed. That's exactly what they needed.
Oh yeah, 100%. But it was a great atmosphere, man. A great night for Orlando.
Yeah, man. Hold on one second. I'm just trying to get the live stream straight on Instagram right now. So if you guys are watching us on Instagram, if you want to keep up with everything and you want to know when we're going to be on, go ahead and follow us on the YouTube page. Go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can know when we go live each and every time, man. So don't forget to follow us on Instagram as well at the Sportaholics. So I'm gonna be in the chat for the whole show for the most part, while I'm chopping it up with my boy Peyton, but I'm looking forward to chopping it up with y'all as well. So meet me in the chat and let's talk some sports. Peyton, what we got coming up?
Oh, we've got the Drunk Dial Hotline, which is one of our personal favorites. We've got Shots Fired. What else? We got MVP on tap, and then finishing it off, we have the penalty shot. So very excited for all of those topics tonight.
Well, let's get right into it, man. Let's not keep them wait. Peyton, who you got on your Drunk Dial Hotline tonight?
So I'm calling in myself as the Drunk Dial Hotline caller, and I just got to say, Russ, I'm sure you heard about this story, but how do all of these statues and or head bust of professional athletes become so disoriented and other times like irreplicable to the actual professional athletes themselves? I mean, if you just put that statue in front of Dwayne Wade, he would be like, "Who is that?" Like, and I'm sure that was his reaction. I'm sure that's what he did. So, I don't know the first thing about building or making statues or head busts, but someone's got to do a better job because I don't know what's going on there, honestly.
Hey, that is too good, Peyton. That's A1 right there. That's A1 material, man. And here's the kicker, like, just to add on what you said, Dwayne Wade said that was like one of the greatest statues ever built. And I don't know if he was just repping his team and just trying to make them feel good. But back in my day, I'm a little bit older than you, but there was a show called Gargoyles, and that statue looked like he was dead. Like he was coming out of the grave.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. I was like, why did they do our guy D Wade wrong like that? Like, that was bad.
Man. It's good symbolism, but horrible. It's a horrible piece, man. Horrible piece. Hopefully they go back and redo that, because we can't have that man looking like we don't know who that was.
No.
We don't know who that was at all.
I mean, they got the rest of the statue on point, but then you get to the head and it's like, what are we doing? I don't know.
That's spot on, Peyton. I love that. All right, so for my Drunk Dial Hotline, I'm gonna have to go with a team that, I've been pretty much bashing all year, but I'm gonna add one more team onto it. And that one team that I've been bashing has been the New York Jets. And I'm gonna go ahead and add the New York Giants on top of that. Right? These guys, like, I don't know what the expectation was. I think with the Giants, we already knew where they would be in the season, but most people would say they had high expectations for the Jets. Do you know that Notre Dame has only played one game in MetLife Stadium and they scored 7 touchdowns? Peyton, can you guess how many touchdowns the New York Giants and the New York Jets have scored combined?
Oh, I don't know how you dug that stat up, but I'm going to go ahead and say less than 7 on the season, which is terrible. I mean, I can't even believe it.
They have a combined games of 7 games in MetLife Stadium, and they've only scored 6 touchdowns. This
Man.
is terrible. And I would hate to be a fan of anybody that's from the Northeast, but
Yeah.
you got to rep your squad. But man, that is terrible. That is terrible.
That is, man.
Mine is a I don't know how you would call it, but I had to dig that one up.
Okay.
I had to dig that one up because just watching those two teams, I'm just like, man, like what are we doing out here? But it's not as
it's been that way for a while now. If you think
Yeah.
about the past decade in New York, outside of the Giants making the postseason 2 years ago, just a lot of forgettable football for both of those teams and franchises. So something's got to change.
Hey, bro, but my story wasn't as juicy as yours. I didn't expect, I wanted to talk about it, but I didn't expect it to be. I didn't know you were gonna come at me like that, bro. Like I did not expect that at all.
Hey, you know how much I love D Wade, so I just want them to do right by him and actually make a statue that looks like himself. But maybe they can get a do-over. I don't know.
Oh man, that was too good, man. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our next segment, man, with shots fired. Who do you have with your shots fired?
So I'm going back to the NBA for a second. My shot fired for this week is that the only team in the Eastern Conference thus far without a win, the Detroit Pistons, pick up their first win tomorrow night against the 76ers. This team has been a bit of a laughingstock for quite some time now. Yeah. And I actually think that Cade Cunningham is the right guy to lead this team. And they added some interesting pieces like a Tim Hardaway. I like some of their young players that they've got on the team, but they're not a complete team by any stretch of the imagination, but I think in some way they're headed in the right direction. And I think that fan base hasn't had much to look forward to in quite some time. So I'm pulling for them tomorrow night against a 76er squad that still hasn't seen Joel Embiid or Paul George play a game yet.
Yeah, man. So I don't know about that one. Detroit has been pretty bad for a while.
Yeah.
And, it is not really looking good for them. But what I will say is I feel bad for Tobias Harris, bro. Like for a player who has had a career like his, I don't want to see him go out sad like that on a team such as the Pistons. So hopefully
it's definitely a long shot, but I see a little bit more with this team than others might see. And I don't know how they're going to do for the rest of the season, but I think at least for tomorrow night, they're desperate enough to get their first win. So I'm just taking my shot right there.
That would be better than what it was last year. What are we 4 or 5 games into the season right now? And
yeah,
I don't know when they got their first win last year, but I know it was well past 5 games. So if they can pick up a win early in the season, that's a little bit of momentum, and hopefully they can build on that. So, but I want to point out the fact that you're calling this game because you are good for being that optimistic guy when it comes to seeing the better in the teams. For instance, when I was, hard on the Orlando Magic, and you saw the potential, and we're kind of starting to see like everything gel with that team. You see the greatness in the New York Giants and New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers. So like, I just want to say you are better than me because I call it how I see it. You see deeper than what it actually is. So big ups to you, man. Big ups to you.
Well, yeah, that's a shot fired with my New York Jets take that didn't really age well. But, we have all of our shots and you're not going to hit all of them, right?
So
it is what it is.
I'm going to stick with you with my shot fired, though, and I'm going to go with the NBA as well. I think we have a potential NBA, I don't know, it could be a Western Conference final game coming on tonight with the Dallas Mavericks facing the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I think this game is going to be explosive. It's actually about to start in about 10 minutes, so I'm looking forward to this game. Not Kyrie, but Klay Thompson has been going off. He's hit 15 threes in the first 3 games. So looking forward to seeing this guy continue that streak and help the Dallas team. Now, nothing against Minnesota at all. Nothing against Minnesota at all. But Anthony Edwards, I expect him to have a good game, big game. You can't really stop that. He's an unstoppable force, especially in the fourth quarter. We know that. So I expect Anthony Edwards to do exactly what he needs to do. But when it comes to this three-headed monster in Dallas, I don't see it being, something that can be stopped as well. So I'm looking forward to that game, and we'll see what happens. I'm about to be tuned in, man. It's live on cable TV. I don't want to put the network out there.
TNT, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's on TNT, but I didn't want to put that out there because we're not affiliated. So why would I
see. I think we'll be all right, but I hear you.
Yeah. So but with that being said, man, that is my shots fired, man.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and move on to our MVP on tap. This is the segment where we spotlight players who had standout performances during the past weekend. So this show is the last call. It's the last call for the sports that happened this past weekend, but also it's a chance to take a look ahead as well into the sports week. So Peyton, you have the opportunity to look back on somebody who had an MVP performance last week, or you can go ahead and look forward and talk about somebody who will have an MVP performance this weekend coming up. So let me know what you got.
Sure thing, man. I'm going to look back to last weekend, and my MVP on tap is actually Jameis Winston for the Browns. Yeah, my guy, right?
Hey, the funniest quarterback in NFL history.
Yeah, and we've always known that he's had the gifts and the ability to play the quarterback position at a relatively high level at least. So I was just happy for him in that moment for him to get that win. He's waited his turn this season, and I'm really excited to see what he does for the rest of the season. I've always been a big fan of his, and he's been scrutinized and criticized a lot throughout his career. So just happy for him in this moment right now.
Yeah, man. This guy, he's so funny, man. His pregame speeches, his postgame speeches, it's always comedy. This man said during the pregame, and it's funny that you mentioned this because I wanted to talk about Jameis Winston as well. In the pregame speech, he told his team, he was like, let's go out there and represent the team that's on our helmet. Then he caught himself. He said, well, damn, we don't have no decals on our helmet, but you know what I mean, right? And then he goes on after the game, after a great performance, right? He goes on after the game and says, he quotes Eminem and says, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. And he did it. And he went out there and proved it. So congratulations to Jameis Winston on his victory. And like you said, I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what he has to offer when it comes to the rest of the season. I'm glad Jameis Winston has always been in the right place at the right time. So I'm happy just knowing his history. I'm happy to see that he's still in the NFL, still thriving, and bringing that fire to the team like it's still his rookie year. You know what I mean? So congratulations.
Yeah, and I admire his self-confidence too, because like I said, he's been so criticized and scrutinized for, throwing the 30 picks in the one season, not being a great leader at times, if you want to call it that. But he's just stayed the course, stayed locked in, and he loves the game of football. So that's really why I'm happy for him.
Yeah, man. All right. So for my MVP on tap, I'm actually going to look backwards on this one.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with a player who I talk about a lot, right? But he's really transcendent in the game of football, and he's also playing on the college level, right? So not only is he MVP, but he's a potential Heisman winner at that. And this goes to Travis Hunter. This guy, he went on and he was the first player in conference history to go ahead and pick up the offensive and defensive player of the week. So just imagine how hard it is to do that. Not only to play 120 snaps a game, but to be honored for the performance that you put out there on the field. Now, I would say this about Travis Hunter, if they don't have Travis Hunter out there on defense, they're not winning ball games. So I like where they are how they utilize him. But I don't know how long he can really keep up that type of performance. But hey, while the iron's hot, you got to strike, man. So keep eating, big fella, and keep doing your thing, man. But man, yeah. So just great performance from him last week. He was able to get the conference offensive and defensive player of the week. So congratulations to him again.
That is pretty remarkable. What a special athlete he is, and he's a lot of fun to watch.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to our last segment of the show, which is called penalty shots. These are players or coaches who made the biggest mistakes or deserve a timeout for their performance in the past weekend, or looking forward. You know, you could call out a blunder if you can predict one. And I think anything that we put out there right now, Peyton, is going to be a blunder because, you know, we miss a lot. So
it's funny that you bring that up because I was going to pat ourselves on the back a little bit for this segment.
Yeah.
Because my penalty shot does go out to the aforementioned New York Jets because we don't have to talk about them after this segment anymore, but they have easily been the biggest disappointment in the NFL. And yeah. I was a big miss on this one, but let's also not forget that both of us like the Steelers, that they're leading their division.
Yep.
I liked Jaden Daniels to come out and be an impact player right away. That's happened. For the most part, our Super Bowl teams are looking pretty good. I know the Dolphins have been dealing with a lot of injuries, but the Lions, the Packers, the Bills, all doing well, doing their thing. And then also one last thing, Russ. I mean, the stats do lie sometimes, like we hit on our last episode. I mean, if you look at some of the QBR ratings in the NFL, you've got guys in the top 10 this year, like Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow, and Trevor Lawrence, but their teams haven't seen success. And then you have other guys like Bo Nix and Caleb Williams who are at the bottom of that list, but their teams have winning records. So although you said we miss a lot, hey, I just wanted to pat ourselves on the back. We don't always miss. You know, we hit our shots too.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I appreciate you for bringing that to the forefront. But, you know, sometimes hurt matters more than joy, you know, so I think it sticks with me a little bit more when we miss, but you can't always be right. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and get into my penalty shot here. And with that being said, my penalty shot doesn't go to a player. It doesn't go to a coach. All right, it goes to a whole organization, and I have nothing against these people, but I just want to call out the Bleacher Report for their playoff prediction of college football, right?
Ooh.
You know, and I talk about my Hurricanes a lot, right? And it's week 9 in college football, and I talk about the Canes a lot because they don't get the respect. Do they deserve it? I don't think so, but still, they're performing well. Okay, and they're doing the thing, and they're accomplishing a lot more than they have in the past, right? And I think everybody's waiting for the University of Miami to fall off, right? So I just want to walk through the playoff predictions with you, and tell me if you agree or disagree with the way that the format is, right?
All right.
Okay, so for as the number 1 team, they in the playoff prediction. So this is not the top 25. This is not the AP poll. This is the Bleachers Report own version of where they think the playoff bracket will format at. Okay, so they have number 1. These 2 teams getting a bye. These 4 teams are getting a bye. You got Oregon at number 1. You got Georgia at number 2. You got Iowa State at You got Clemson at number 3. You got Iowa State at number 4. Right?
Okay, wow.
And then in the first round of the playoffs, you have number 5 Texas playing number 12 Boise State.
All right.
Okay. Then you have number 6 Ohio State playing number 11 Tennessee. Then you have number 7 Penn State versus number 10 Indiana. You notice I still haven't gotten to the Hurricanes, right? Okay.
Right.
And then the last game would be number 9, University of Miami versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Yeah, I've got a lot of problems with that list. It looks like they're projecting a good bit, and they're not giving your Hurricanes any respect. All Miami does is win to this point in the season, and it looks like they're going to continue to do so. I think they have a big quarterback edge in that potential matchup against Clemson.
Exactly.
And then also, I don't know what to do with Ohio State, man, because I watched them pretty closely this last weekend. They do not look like one of the best 12 teams in the country at this point. Maybe they have a chance to prove me wrong against Penn State this weekend, but at this point, I don't see it. That's all I'll say about them. So I'm with you. I got some problems with that list. What say you?
No, that's exactly why they're getting my penalty shot today, because I really don't understand it. Like, you should be rewarded for your good or great played out there on the football field, but they want to put them up against Notre Dame. Now, I do believe Miami has a great opportunity to smash Notre Dame, especially with that high octane offense that they have right now. The defense, on the other hand, I don't know if they can stop a nosebleed, but the offense is just that good that they can keep up with anybody that's scoring on their defense, right? And they're always going to be a threat if number one is sitting back there in the pocket. So they have a great wide receiver core. They have a great running back in the backfield with Martinez. So I don't want to big them up too much, but come on, man. Where's the respect, Bleacher Report? Where's the respect for the Canes? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's week 10 for crying out loud. We got to have some respect for them by now. Come on,
man.
Yeah.
All right, that's my penalty shot, Peyton. What you got?
Okay, I like it. Well, I already went through mine, and it was the New York Jets being a big disappointment. Just in all facets, I mean, from firing the head coach to bringing in Devontae Adams, which that hasn't translated to wins in the win column, to Aaron Rodgers not being an optimal leader. It's really just a mess right now. Yeah. So my penalty shot goes out to them. I believe they play Thursday night against the Houston Texans. So that's another big game for him, and I have no hopes for him, for the record.
All right, so here we go. Before we get out of here, Peyton, I cannot get off this podcast without speaking about that shootout between the Bears and the Commanders.
Okay.
Man, the last 2 minutes of that game was epic, bro.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
So Chicago hadn't been moving the ball that well at all the whole game, and in the last minute they go down, and I think they scored with like 18 seconds left on the clock. It was probably even less than that, right? So they go down, they score, they run the ball in the end zone, and everybody's celebrating. It's kind of like what we witnessed between Alabama and Georgia. It's kind of like everybody's celebrating, going crazy, and then here comes your MVP, your most dominant quarterback in the NFL right now with Jaden Daniels. I ain't saying that he's the most dominant, but I'm just saying like what we predicted in the preseason, him going on to be one of the best quarterbacks in his division, which is actually coming to fruition here.
Sure.
Him being able to go out, and I don't think it had anything to do with him one, he had to get the ball to the end zone. So he had to escape the pocket, avoid the pressure, wait till his receivers get down to the end zone. But come on, man. As a Bears defender, how do you not knock the ball out of the air?
Well, I was going to ask you, man, like you played at the college level. If you're a defensive coordinator, what's your call in that situation personally? What are you calling?
Knock the ball out of the air. I mean, everybody, we're standing on the goal line, like from the 5 to the goal line. Like, don't let nobody behind you. All right, and so for that receiver to be able to leak behind him, right? Like, I don't understand.
I think that's a good point. My teaching would be at least get to the back of the end zone and then track the ball with forward momentum.
Yes.
So you can run up to it and smack it down. It looked like they were still retreating, so they had no momentum. They couldn't jump as high. As long as you're at the back of the end zone running forward first, I think that gives yourself a better chance. That's what I would say. But yeah, I think we're in accordance there.
A complete mess, man, and it was a beautiful mess at that. So I just couldn't get off the line without talking about that because wow, just wow. is giving is adding to the credentials that Jaden Daniels is already creating for himself. So,
and Washington just has that mojo right now where like things are just going right, everything feels good. I mean, they're winning in that fashion that they're on a bit of a magic carpet ride. We'll see how long it lasts, but Jaden has been great, no doubt.
He really has, man. And with that being said, we are the Sportaholics. This was the last call. All right. We won't see you guys until Friday. All right. We back at it with the Friday shows. Looking forward to a great weekend and college sports, basketball, NFL, you name it, man. So Peyton, before we get out of here, we need an emoji, bro. We need an emoji. Hey, let's do this. If you are watching this show right now, all the way to the end, go ahead and put a basketball emoji in the chat.
There you go.
Just let us know that you're showing support, showing love. Go ahead and put a basketball emoji in the chat. Mm-hmm. All right. Just let us know that you're here, man. But Peyton, man, it was good chopping it up with you. I can't wait to see you in person, man. It's going to be a good time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We got a big show coming up. We're going to record Thursday, post Friday. I'm calling it now. I'm going to say that's our best show yet. We're going to be shooting on Halloween, so let's make it the best one yet, man.
Oh, we got to bring our costumes, Peyton.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, Peyton. We
even if the costume's kind of lame, is that okay if I'm wearing like just something that's kind of cheap and not a big deal?
You can wear your Saints outfit.
Okay. That's good for parody.
But yeah, with that being said, man, we appreciate everybody for tuning in to the show today. Love you guys. Thank you for the support. It's always good. Make sure you drop that secret emoji in the comments. If you missed it, too bad. You should have been paying attention. All right. But y'all can catch us next week, same place, same time. You can also catch us on Friday at 7:30. And I'm looking forward to it, man.
Looking forward to it, man. Best show yet.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Until next time, we are the Sportaholics, and we out of here.
Peace, y'all.